7:07 on Thursday, the 13th of May. This is the regular meeting for the Seward Historic Preservation Commission. We will bring the meeting to order. Okay. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, can you please take roll?
Pemberton.
Here.
Ward.
Here.
Benoit.
Here.
Lebrecht is excused and Chair Cease.
Here.
You have a quorum, Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have any citizen comments?
We do not.
Okay. I need a motion and a second for an approval of the agenda and consent agenda.
Approval of the May 3rd special meeting minutes and approval of the Historic Preservation Award proclamations to Colleen Kelly and Liberty Miller at the May 24th City Council meeting.
Okay. But as far as the proclamations and awards,
So you're going to need a resolution in order to bestow the awards to the recipients, but under the consent agenda you just approved the proclamations as is for Colleen Kelly and Liberty Miller.
I've reviewed them, and I think Ms. Kingsland did a perfect job.
They were wonderful.
Which were really appreciated. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no
All right.
further to add. I thought they
Okay.
were beautifully done.
Do we have a city administration report?
I don't really have anything to report, but if you have any questions about, any of the grant work, I just wanted to be here to support that. Anything else that you might need.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you have any questions for me?
Not yet, but I think when we get to,
Yeah, the resolution.
no, not the resolutions. I mean, we can if they say they want to, but, if we wanted to go into these emails back and forth with Maria and the CLG, I don't know that we will. I think they're probably minutes, but anyway, okay. Chair report. Okay.
Nice chair report.
I am happy to say that our commission continues to be very busy, which is great. And I'm so grateful for the commissioners I serve with. They are all committed to doing quality work, and a lot of it too. I also want to recognize our faithful clerks. We have required a lot more work for them to do, and they have obliged efficiently and effectively with smiles. We are progressing on the CLG, which, as Mary Ann can give some input on. Tongi could not be here, but he will be with us on Monday. And he has already provided the clerk and I with the paperwork to let us know where we are in the process and where we're going. The next heavy lift will be to solicit donations to complete our portion of the matching grant. Next will be the physical work. Commissioner Pemberton has volunteered to operate any equipment we use for digging the holes for the signposts. Yay! At Monday's work session, I recommend we revisit our committees, as there is no doubt changes need to be made. And okay. So, I'd like to see us get back on schedule of the work session preceding the regular meeting, changing the starting time to 6:15 for those just getting off work. Clerk Ballou informed us that we could start the work session and go immediately into the regular meeting without having the structured time for start and finish. I do strongly advise we keep the end of the regular meeting at 9. Additional work sessions may be necessary beyond those scheduled, but they will be short. I really don't want us going late, and of course Monday's work session, being changed to the 7:15 to 8:15. I just always want us to be aware that it makes a really long day for the clerk. So, and that is it for my report.
Nice job.
So, Commissioner Benoit,
Yes,
you go next.
this is a Facebook page, I guess.
Yes.
Planning Committee Advocacy Report
Oh,
is next.
okay. Okay, so related to our
We were
historic
talking about-
walking tour, our progress. The signs were sent out to all of the different reviewers, all the property owners, our partners, etc. Reviews were all received, and the sign designer edited everything, and they have been complete and they look beautiful, and they've actually been sent to the manufacturer. So we're very happy with the way they all look, and very thankful to everybody who participated in helping to create them, and all of the reviews that were required to really come up with the best possible stories and a professional looking sign design. So thank you to everybody. The next step in the process is that we are going to be finding the exact locations that all the signs will go into the ground. The city should be working the sign permits and getting that information out to everybody. We're working through the process of ordering all the materials and figuring out exactly how the installation will be done. If you looked in the laydowns, there was a link in the laydown that says anybody can go and see these final sign proofs for all the signs. You just have to go to this link, and there are JPEGs available, so if you happen to be listening and you're a property owner, you can go see your sign and actually download a copy of any of them if you want to, for the record, and check them out, zoom in, see all the details. Another sign that we have been working on is the thank you sign, which is also in the laydown, which is the first cut of that. Our sign designer graciously has donated his time to do this sign because he is really, I think, feels good about this project and has spent so much time on it, and so he wanted to donate something, so he donated his time to do our thank you sign. In our work session just before this, we spent some time looking at this to make sure we didn't leave anybody out, all things are spelled correctly, trying to finesse it a little bit, and we have done that, and we're going to, I'm going to submit this to the sign designer with our comments probably tomorrow. So we hope we didn't leave anyone out, and if by chance you're listening out there and you can think of somebody that got left out, please just contact me, call me or email me, because I would really want to make sure that they get included.
And on this, we need to call a vote for approval of you taking it now to the manufacturer.
Okay?
I move that we task Marianne, Commissioner Benoit, with finalizing the thank you sign with the sign designer.
I second.
So voting on approving the thank you sign and directing Commissioner Benoit to take it to the sign designer. Commissioner Ward,
Yes?
Benoit,
Yes?
Pemberton,
Yes.
Chair Cease.
Yes.
This has been approved.
Okay, the next thing on that, in this report is we are working on trying to complete the walking tour information for the map. Our sign designer has agreed to create the, this is like the actual map you'd walk around with. It's going to show you, here's the places where all the signs are. And on the back, it's going to have little summaries that basically say, this dot or this sign, this is what it's about. They're basically little summaries of what the signs are about, plus there's some additional places that will be on there that have been on previous historic walking tours. Places that, for example, have signs already, so we didn't need to make them, like Hoban Park and Old Solly's and the historic Stucco Johnson home site and the Cable House. There are some other places that I would like to add because either they were on previous tour maps, or I think it's a good idea to do that, and I just wanted to bring that up for discussion here to see if you'd like to add those, and also if you think, you know, we need to specifically ask somebody permission to put these on, and try to see who could do that. So for example, the Seward Hotel, they had asked to be on our walking tour, but we didn't have enough money this time for signs. Tongi is going to talk to them, so I think they want to be on it. We can add them.
I believe that they, at that time, were told that if they didn't have a sign this time around, they would be on the brochure.
Right.
So
think-
we're excited.
I was gonna say, I think we've told most of the folks who applied, I think they understood that we were not gonna be able to give everybody signs, but that anybody who was interested, that we would at least put them on the tour. That was my understanding in the
Mine too.
very beginning.
So that's a good point, because that was my understanding too. And there's actually like 10 different people, and originally I had them on my list, but the thing is, here's the deal. We don't have histories on them, so basically what would end up being on that sign is like 513 2nd Avenue, built 1910. That's
Okay.
all we have. And so my question to you is, do you want to have that on the sign with nothing else? Or do you want to wait, because in the next round, if we get more money, those people would be the people we would be working with to get the sign and get their history. We'd have to revise the sign or the walking tour map anyway to put the new people on. At that point, we'd actually have something to say, but now we don't. So here's the question, do we want to put those people on just with their address and a date? Or do we want to wait until we actually have more to say? That was something I've struggled with. I have the whole list. I can put them on or I can leave them off.
Yeah, I can understand the struggle.
And some of them, there actually is something like Seward Hotel, because they've done some previous work and they, you know, we do have something we could put.
But they've been around. I don't know what to tell the homeowners that now that the message is different. That's all. That would be something that we might need to address.
Maybe we go ahead and we list the address and the year under more to come.
Right. Or here's another thought, is we could potentially call those people and say, here's what we could do. We could just put your address and the date it was built with nothing else, or we could wait until next time when we have more information and see if they're willing to wait, then we could, you know, do that. And if they really want to be on with just that, we could add them. That's just an idea.
I think that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, I think we probably, I think it's important to touch bases. If we've said one thing, we can't,
Yes.
you know, we need to be consistent in what we say.
And here's the
Commissioner
question,
Benoit makes a good point.
I thought we had sent a letter to all the people that didn't get on the tour and said, we don't have money this time, but you could be on the tour. Did that letter go out? That's a question. I talked to Tongi, he wasn't sure that actually happened.
I thought he was the responsible party.
I thought all the letters went out.
Yeah, I did too.
So that's just something I'm unclear.
Yeah,
if
40-some
they got that.
letters, of which we've got what we've got back.
So it sounds like what we're saying here is for those people, we should contact them and ask.
Or,
Okay.
okay, yes,
There needs to be some follow-up from
Yes,
us. I just think
yes.
it would be really disrespectful to not follow up, especially when we said one thing. That's
Yes.
real important for
I
our
agree.
credibility. So,
okay.
Okay,
So we need to divide that up.
I can send out a list, I think, I could send a list of all those people to Tongi and see if he can, or send it to you guys. and
Yeah,
see
well,
if
you know,
guys
I'm
can-
happy, personally, I'm happy to, you know, contact anybody that was on my original list. I mean, the original list has changed so much now. I don't know who was on my original list, but I'm perfectly happy to give them a call if necessary, rather than make it all one person's.
Okay, if you want, what I could do is I could look back on the original list.
That's it's the
and just
original.
go, who's listed on there, cause, you know, things change, but I could and then send you guys an email and say, could you please contact them, here's their phone number.
Right, that'd be great. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, so let's do
Because
that.
the original list is real different than what we ended up with, once we came up with the ranking system and information.
Right. So then the next thing is, the second category was the ones that I thought should be on, because they either were previously, or I thought they had historical value and probably should be on. And so, we started talking about Seward Hotel, which Tongi's already talking to them. Liberty Theater, which I think we should ask permission,
Yes.
because they're
Yes,
private property.
yes,
And so Cheryl, you've been working with them, if you could
Yes.
do that. We have the Ray Building, which is, would you say that, that's a public building, right?
yes,
So
but they rent it out, so
okay, I don't know, do we need to get permission from someone for that?
I
Or
think so.
Does anyone know the owners of that building?
I got their number once. Well,
Which building is that?
it's the building over there with all the lawn and the big cottonwoods.
Okay.
No, it's not, it's that Harriman Bank building.
The old Harbin Bank.
Yeah, right
Oh.
next to the IOF building, it's got a historic plaque on it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure if that one needs to have permission.
Oh.
It's offices and stuff and,
But there's an owner?
Does Tom Swan own that?
no, he owns the
The one next
to it.
IOF,
He wants to own, I know he
Yeah,
knows.
which is another one I was going to put on, because that's been on previous.
Would he
ones.
know who owns the building?
Yes.
He might be able to be a good source of finding out who.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask Tom Swan. Well, basically, he said he would be on the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to make phone calls.
But he's got a lot of knowledge on our history. He served
Okay.
on our commission.
The next one is the Blaine House, which I think is really important. I've already sent an email to Mary Lee to ask her about that. I haven't heard back yet. The next place would be, as we talked about in the work session, doing just a blurb about the old site of the line and the old Mary Lowell Homestead and the Peel House and the Alaska Transfer. It's all in that block down there where the Marine Sciences Building is. I think that's, I don't know if we need to get permission for that. It's been like every tour.
Well, it's on a map,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're talking public.
So I think that
no.
one's okay. Another one was the Methodist Church, which it's been on all these different tours, and it sounds like that building was moved from Fort Raymond in the 40s. And
Is
and
it the
if it's the
original
same,
building?
if it's the same building, I thought we could put that
How
on,
could
but
we build
I
that?
don't know. I haven't really looked into it. But
I
it's
thought
listed
they
like on
rebuilt that.
alaska.org as being, with that picture of that building as being
Huh.
moved over from Fort Raymond, so.
That would be good to know.
Is there some, that's my impression that it is, and we should list it. Is there somebody willing to talk to them and ask them if that's true? About the church?
Sure. I believe it's Sue McClure's church.
Oh, Sue.
I think so. I mean, she doesn't own it. She just attends there
Yeah, she just goes there.
and plays the music.
Okay. Anybody willing to volunteer and follow up on that one?
Yeah, on the Methodist Church?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said yes.
Okay. Cool.
The o-
Commissioner Cease.
The
Gotcha.
only other one that I'm wondering, and I don't know what, you have all the list, but Urbox.
Oh, Urbox is for sure on there.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what she
Yeah.
had requested, so, and I
Yeah.
didn't see it listed, so I didn't
Yeah.
wanna
That's
make
because
sure
I've
we
already-
followed.
I already
Yeah.
put it on
Okay.
just because she's, yeah.
Okay,
There are a couple other ones that I thought would be good I just thought about was the Seward Cemetery and the Woodlawn Cemetery.
Yes,
Because the Woodlawn Cemetery, I think, was their original one, where Mary Lowell was buried, and then I think a lot of people were moved from that to the Seward Cemetery, and there's like, I was just out there the other day, because I'm with Rotary, we have the Rotary Memorial Garden, and Rotary put up the thing that has all the names of the people buried there, and some of those are really, really old. And so I think that would be a good to list both of those and maybe just have a little blurb like, if you're willing to drive a little, because it's not a walking distance, go check out these two cemeteries. And I could contact Lee Plesky and just ask him for a little bit of stuff to put in about those.
I would suggest that for solstice, you list the cemetery because Lee does a walk through the cemetery each solstice. And I would imagine with Liberty's success last year, that in October there will be another tour of the Woodlawn Cemetery.
Yeah, I could actually put something on the walking tour like, check out, go on the tours that happen at these times.
just do a little advertisement. The other thing,
But I'm a little confused about your description of these cemeteries. Because I thought this one flooded and they moved a lot of them to Woodlawn, which Woodlawn was for natives.
Oh, so I don't really know. This is just, well, I'm going from memory, but I can ask Lee about all this because I'm sure
Okay,
he knows.
yeah, he'll know, definitely.
Yeah, I was just gonna call him like tomorrow and try to pick his brain and get information for those blurbs.
or those,
Put
for the
them on.
blurbs that go
Yeah.
in there. The other thing that you have listed on here is the maple.
Yeah, that was something I thought would be.
That's
good to
really
put on
cool,
there.
actually.
Because I thought it
noticed
would be really cool to bring in like the historic tree and shrub inventory that happened. Because nobody ever thinks about it, seems like, and so that tree has a history and. It would be
Purchased
kinda
through
cool.
the
People are gonna
Sears
be walking
catalog.
up there on
That's so
Millionaire's
cool.
Row anyway, but I feel like that's something we should ask that property owner permission because that's their tree, it's a private residence. I don't know who they are, does anybody know them?
Yeah, but they're gonna be just stopping on the sidewalk and looking,
Right,
right?
but I still think we should just ask them.
Okay.
If we list your tree.
So if you're going to list that, which by the way I love, would you please list the Boy Scout tree out here in front of City Hall?
What's that? Boy Scout?
I believe it's a tree that survived the earthquake.
Do we have
Which
any-
I
tree
mean,
is
it's
it?
not 1903.
Which tree is it? Which
So
one?
when you walk down the steps, it's
Uh-huh.
to the right.
Okay.
Okay, do we have some history someplace on it? Something
It's
we
got
can
a, it's
write?
got a sign.
Oh, okay, it has a sign, we'll look at it and take a picture.
It's a
of it.
survivor.
It's a survivor, okay. And if Blaine House says yes, they have a historic lilac tree in their yard, I'll add that. And I can also add that the Resort Coffee House has a historic lilac tree, which I forgot to put on here. So I think that was it. It was just like, those are the things I thought we could add. In addition, fill this out so it's not just our signs, but it looks like a complete thing. And just wanted to see if you felt the same, that some of these people needed to be contacted for permission and get
And
somebody
or
on it.
information.
Is it possible to make this brochure an 11 by 17?
I have no idea because the sign designer's gonna make it and I'm sure he'll take a look at it and be like, you have too much stuff, and then we're gonna have to go through the whole editing process,
right.
just like the signs over and over and over.
Or you can request that it's an 11 by 17, which will also make the map much easier to follow,
Okay.
you know, than a little bitty thing.
No, I think it is gonna be a trifold, that was what I was
Well, I
picturing.
understand that, but if it's trifold 8 by 10, it's little bitty. If it's
Okay.
even legal, it's still gonna be pretty itty bitty. So an 11 by 17 would be great.
Okay, and we'll make
Just
a note,
more-
and we'll
more
talk to him
space.
about that. I also think we need to consider that I don't know how many copies were gonna get printed, but in the future, if more people are gonna be added, remember the map will change.
Exactly.
So you don't have like 5 billion copies out there.
Right,
And then you change the map, and then you have all this old stuff, so.
right,
Just to keep that in mind when we spend money on printing.
right, which I guess to factor into that will be when we realistically think we're gonna take on the next part of this project.
So as far as that goes, I think that's all I had for the sign project.
And you've already gone over the thank you contributors. So, how about historic overlay district? Were we on hold?
Yeah, that project is a little bit on hold right now. We're still, I have worked with Jackie and we have some new stuff to add. I just been working on the CLG grant.
Yes,
So that,
absolutely.
it'll get done, but
Yes.
later.
And we are scheduled sometime in October to have a joint meeting with TACAB. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
I just wanted to say, Jackie, the community development folks have done a lot of work, and I just need to integrate it. We've talked about an application process, we've talked about ordinances, and all of that needs to be put into the document. Again, the limit of not having a computer. But Jackie's gonna find me one. So.
Right.
But we are moving forward, so hopefully I should have something to present the PACAB. That would be really good.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Commissioner Benoit, would you like to report your Facebook
Sure.
page?
In April, our page likes and followers were up, but our page views and post reach was down, and that's basically because due to unforeseen circumstances, none of the posts for last month went out.
Oh.
And so, we're going to put all of the posts that were supposed to go out last month out this month.
Okay,
We
so
may-
we're just a month ahead.
Yeah, and we may actually do some additional ones, because I just told Jessica, let's just bring all those that we were going to put out, we'll put them out this month. But we may add a couple more, because if we want to tell people about, here's what's happening with the sign project, our current progress, or if there's anything, any help we would like to ask people for, we might add a few more. But right now, we're just moving all of those from last month forward.
So a little more explanation on that, because I know y'all are probably have some questions. As you know, I was on maternity leave until mid-April. Right when I got back, pretty much, Brenda has been gone out of state for trainings and stuff for 3 of the 4 weeks that I've been back. So I've been doing a lot of different things, and this is one that until Mary Ann said something had totally slipped my mind. And I was like, okay, we're gonna try and get those into May then, and if we need to double up on weeks and do 2 posts a week, then we can do that too, make sure everything gets out.
So it'll all be good, it'll all be good.
Okay, so on your May Facebook, could you add this right here along with the link? Because then they can go to it, right?
Oh, okay, so I could add some kind of a post that basically says, go check out all of our signs at this link.
Well, you could put this picture on there with the link, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just one example of what
No, I
sign.
know, I know. And I just want to add or suggest that for your Pioneer Women, you include Alaska Nellie.
Yeah,
Do you have her?
she wasn't on the sign, but I was thinking that Alaska Nellie was on the sign, and really Mary Lowell wasn't, I mean, she was a little
No,
bit
no,
of
no,
a
I
driver's
don't mean the
sign.
sign. I mean, you're gonna feature for your
Right.
Facebook, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about too, it's just
Oh.
like, what I was doing was I was gonna start
With Sylvia.
with all the women that were on these signs, because then I could put the sign, and I could take some information off the sign and bring them
That's
to
a good
life.
idea.
Because we already have done a bunch, and that,
Yeah.
all those people listed were ones that came off the sign. But of course, there's people, we didn't do a sign out, like Mary Lowell and Alaska Nellie, and I'm sure plenty of other amazing women. They weren't on our signs, but we could still add them.
Yes,
We could come up with some pictures and history
I'd be happy
and
to
do
help
that.
research.
yeah. But,
Because,
yeah, I was just thinking when you're, yeah. So after that,
Mhm.
hopefully we will have had time to do the research on Alaska Nellie,
She's
She's
pretty
really
impressive.
fun.
She's
you
really
know, and Mary
impressive.
Lowell and, you
Yeah.
know, others that aren't on there. But that's a digression.
No, I actually had thought about that when I wrote this down because I thought, I had been planning on doing something on Mary Lowell anyway. I guess I did put her on here because she is listed on the library sign, there's some discussion about her, so she did come up. And Alaska Nellie, I know that there is a lot of history on her in Doug Capper's book that I could look at that.
Yep. And I have another book.
Cool. I figure pretty much any of the women that were here back in those days were probably all amazing.
So the name of my other book, which I just love, Alaska Women, More Than Petticoats. Isn't that great?
Yeah. That sounds good. So, anyway, for this, you can see what's going to be going out in May, and we'll probably have some extra ones too, but it's basically a really important one. It's the first one you see listed. It's thank you to all of our partners.
Yes.
And then we're finishing, you know, I've done a series on places on the National Register, and St. Peter's was left. I hadn't finished them all yet. And then in June, basically what I was doing was taking the Sylvia Sexton sign, which is the one that was in the laydown, and basically kind of breaking up the text that came off that sign and highlighting different things about Sylvia Sexton.
Great idea.
So that's what I was doing, is taking a sign and going, instead of like trying to tell people about the entire sign in one Facebook post, just like break it up into a few posts per sign and tell the story. And so, yep, that's what we'll do. And I think that's all on Facebook, but is there anything, I guess, coming up, any events or anything important that we need to
Promote?
Well,
promote, like for our public event? I
yeah,
guess?
June 28th. That needs to be listed.
Would it be appropriate to publicize the presentation to City Council for this project? For the sign project?
We are going to do that on the 28th.
Just,
Oh, that's
but
June
she,
28th.
but is that something that she should promote?
Well, yes.
That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, yeah, we need to promote our celebration and presentation to council on June 28th.
One thing to remember though is they do keep their presentations to a 10-minute time limit.
Yeah, and I think we could, 10 minutes you could go through
Even
those pretty quick.
before the meeting? Could we start before the meeting and then have 10 minutes in the meeting?
I think we should accommodate that. That's 10 minutes, public speaking is pretty good.
Yeah, with pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll come up with some stuff and we'll figure out how to weave it into what's already here.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner
And that'll
Minowa.
be- that's that.
Okay. Okay, moving on to our resolutions, which have already been okay in our approval of the agenda and consent agenda.
The resolutions have not been approved
Oh,
yet.
the resolutions have not been approved, okay. So, we are up for approving or discussing Resolution 2021-004, recommending that the 2021 Seward Historic Preservation Awards be bestowed to Colleen Kelly and Liberty Miller. And you can find this on page 11. And 12. Yeah, 11 and 12. And,
That's for Colleen, right?
no,
For both.
that's for both.
For both?
Yeah, yeah. And again,
Here.
Ms. Kingsland, you did an excellent job, and we're really, really appreciative of that.
Very nicely done.
I just want to point out, just because if it's a combined resolution with both of them, some of the wording has been tweaked just to allow that.
Yes,
but the basic concept is the
Right.
same, so there'll be separate proclamations, yeah. But when I started putting it together in one resolution, I was like, okay, I just need to make this make sense.
Yes, you did a very good job. Okay. Deputy Clerk Stollard,
We need a motion and a second to approve the resolution.
You need one?
Yes.
Commissioner Pemberton, would you like to make a motion to approve the resolution naming Colleen Kelly and Liberty Miller as our historic awardees this year?
Yes, I would like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Pemberton and Commissioner Ward.
So resolution 2021-004, recommending that the 2021 Seward Historic Preservation Awards be bestowed to Colleen Kelly and Liberty Miller. Benoit,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Pemberton,
Yes.
Chair Cease.
Yes,
This resolution has been approved.
thank you. Okay. Okay, good. Well, Ms. Kingsland, page 15, that's you, right?
The budget?
Yeah, I think it starts on page 13.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so he.
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
this
no,
is the-
it begins on 13, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
The amendment to the budget for.
accepting the
additional-
greater amount,
Yeah, accepting additional funds.
okay? Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's no argument with me. Any objections?
Do we need an official motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll.
Yeah.
That's it. But before you do, I just wanna make sure that there isn't any questions about it, cause it's, if you look at the agenda statement, that's where it outlines like what exactly is happening with the funds. And at first, I was under the impression that there wasn't going to be a cost to the city, but if you look at under project costs on page 16, the project costs for grant calculation purposes, the 8.5% state indirect cost on federal share will be $410.
To the city,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
And then you had shared that 3,500, the city had already put out.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
I'd like to, if it's okay, if you could add that somewhere in the paperwork, so we're aware of that. Because
Okay.
there was some incorrect information disseminated.
Okay, so I think that was, Jessica included the original resolution, and that is on page 22. That is in section 3 of page 22. So $3,970.
Okay,
Yes,
from the
appropriate
general
from-
reserve, yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Commissioners, do we have any questions or comments for Ms. Kingsland?
No, this looks really nice.
It does.
Again, very professional.
And again, this will go before council at their May 24th meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kingsland.
You're welcome.
Another very, very nice job. Okay.
Do we need to, we voted on this, right?
No, we need to.
Yeah, that's what I was just
Oh,
gonna say.
right, it's, yeah, okay, resolution to accept, that's right. So, we need a motion to,
Oh, sorry, resolution 2021-005, recommend council accept and appropriate funds from amendment 1, budget adjustment for the Alaska Historic Preservation Fund, HPF CLG grant number 2005 for the Seward Historical Tour Public Education Signage Project, is what we need a motion for.
I so move.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner
That was
Pemberton.
easy, I was like, how can anyone remember how to say that?
Second.
Voting on resolution 2021-005. Ward,
Yes,
Pemberton,
Yes.
Benoit,
Yes.
Chair Cease.
Yes.
This resolution has been approved.
All right. Okay, so these are minutes, and then we come down to outreach. Okay, so then we have this, memorandum. Okay, so we have the proclamations themselves, which are wonderful.
So you approved those on the consent agenda.
Right, I know, but, Liberties does not have the nice blue border. Is that just an oversight and it will be provided?
We can, yeah, they were just past proclamations that I copied the formatting from, but we can totally refund them.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Oh, okay. So, Deputy Clerk Stoller, were you wanting to actually schedule the work session with PACAB in October? Or we're gonna wait till we're closer to that?
When I spoke to PACAB about this at their May 5th meeting, we wanted to schedule the joint work session with y'all for October, and they said that they would be perfectly fine to do it at one of your regularly scheduled evening work sessions instead of y'all having to come to their lunch work session.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
That's
okay.
very good of them. Okay, so
So
the second Thursday, or should we schedule an extra work session?
I believe, I'm double checking right now.
Probably we should schedule a separate work
I
session.
was gonna say,
Yeah,
yeah. And that gives me a time frame. Get something in, get something done.
So the regularly scheduled one for October is October 14th at 6 p.m.
okay.
See if that works
this
for
is
them?
this is where we're going to have to know, council schedule too, because we'll be meeting in here. So we're gonna do a standalone work session, and before we decide what that is, in my, chair report, I talked about wanting to go back and get our work sessions and regular meeting work sessions, in order, okay? So, Mondays for the work session, on the Monday evenings where council is not working, work fine with me. Come the fall, it will not work for me, okay? So,
And PACAB is off until September, which is why it's getting scheduled for the
in
October.
October, okay. So when we have additional work sessions, I think we need to revisit when the best time is. For now, I think we're okay with our Monday evenings, 6:15 to 7:15, except for this Monday, which is 7:15 to 8:15.
Right, here's a question, how come we just can't do them right before our regular meetings?
We
We
are
can.
going to, but on our regular meeting in October, to try to make that a joint meeting with PACAB plus our work session, one a month,
Okay.
that's not gonna work.
And we can limit it. That's one of the things that we tried to do when we met with planning and zoning. We can limit it to an hour. It doesn't, you know what I mean? I'd be happy to do a presentation, show them what we have, and see what questions they have. But I say, if we do it, let's limit it. That's what we did with planning and zoning.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, cause I kinda like to limit like these extra like
Right.
mandate times, cause I have usually.
Yes, I know. Well, we all have lives.
Right.
Yes.
So,
So, yeah,
doesn't have
And
to be
then-
that Monday, but I mean, we
Right.
can. Or we could, we could try, but like I say, I'm happy to run.
I'm just talking in
that meeting,
general,
yeah.
cause that we're talking in October. which
well,
is-
so we are going back to our original schedule, which was the work session at 6:15, followed by the regular meeting. The only thing that's changing is the public will not be noticed as a 7 p.m. start time for the regular meeting. the regular meeting will begin when the work session is done, which means we don't have to make it last an hour or an hour and a half. We just do it for as much as we need and we move right into the regular session,
Sounds good.
okay?
And we have not met with Pat Cab in a joint work session, the other.
No,
There's, the three commissions. We've tried a couple of times with planning and zoning, but we've not met with Pat Cab. So I'm happy to do the one meeting in October. I don't think it's gonna be something that's gonna be regularly scheduled.
no,
And I'm happy to have interest in this particular project, the historic overlay. It's taken a back seat and I'm happy to jumpstart that. So, but we can limit it. I would be real happy to limit it to an hour.
okay.
I can't see that we talk a whole lot more than that.
So,
around your schedule.
Deputy Clerk Stoller,
Working
do
around
you
your
have the
schedule.
October schedule for city council?
I can tell you right now that they are the second and fourth Monday of every month. So
Second
that
and
would
fourth,
be.
okay. So,
So that's gonna be, but that's also, I think, isn't that getting pretty close to their budget time?
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
it's
say,
gonna be
that's
extra
gonna be
work
kind
sessions
of a,
then too.
yeah, busy time.
So, 11th and 25th are their regularly scheduled council meetings, but that is getting around budget time where it gets to be a little bit busier for them. My reasoning for bringing this before you in a memorandum is that I had that May 5th meeting with PACAB. They were going over the priorities. Meeting with you all in a joint work session on the historic overlay district is one of it. So we just wanna make sure that it's not an oversight, it gets scheduled. We can definitely, if it's easier for y'all, postpone this until a later meeting, like September, and we can.
What works for, I think, it's
Okay.
really working around council.
well,
Well,
okay.
I'm just thinking then we'll have a better idea of
Okay.
council schedule.
Why don't we go ahead and add them to the work session on our regular October meeting? If we find we need more time, because remember, we don't have to be done at a certain time before we go into the regular meeting, okay? But if for some reason we're not able to accomplish what we wanted to in the work session, we'll schedule another one, all right?
And that's not an extra meeting. That would-
Sounds good to me.
Commissioner Pemberton, does that sound good to you?
So the date and time would be October 14th at 6 p.m.
6:15. 6:15
Yeah,
is our
that would be
start time.
fine.
Thank you, Commissioner Pemberton.
So that's
Thank you,
October
Deputy Clerk.
14th?
Yeah, I believe she said 14.
Yes, October 14th at 6:15.
That's our regular meeting.
Yes.
Get it on the notes. It's in my brain. And hopefully,
And I would like to, in August, begin to continue that update, as well as to start the next rollover, which is going to be from 43 forward 50 years. But at this point, there has been no change to the historic inventory.
we worked hard on the CLG grant.
Well, I know, I have some notes, because as I was out looking around for what we were gonna do for this project, there's like places that are no longer there.
Right.
And other ones that, there's things that are off in there.
Yeah, if you have an opportunity to maybe write that out.
Well,
Just-
she's gonna keep her notes.
No, but I was just gonna say, you send it to whoever's gonna be responsible for
Like
the
whoever,
inventory.
I don't know
Yeah.
who has the last version,
Mhm.
could send it to me, and
Yeah,
then
I was
I
gonna
could
say.
update some things, and just put a new date on it, so.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, so then, would you accept that?
Oh, yeah, I think it would be good to have your most current one
Oh.
on file too.
Okay,
And then-
so-
And then just have another working document that you can start with
Yes.
in August.
So Commissioner Benoit, are you talking about something that you could do before August or in August?
Well, if I had time, maybe before August, but
At least
Okay, why don't we
target
just,
I
August.
just thought if you sent it to me, then, as I have time, I could start putting some things in that I discovered
yeah,
in my scribble notes before I lose that paper with a whole bunch of
Yeah, right.
information.
I'm going to suggest we leave it August, okay, so I can bank on it. So, Ms. Kingsland, can you just let them know that it's not been updated, but it is scheduled for updating in August for beginning the project?
Sounds good.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, moving on to 8, information items and reports. Page 36, the priorities as amended and approved by council. And then we have our priorities, you know, listed in the months that we're supposed to do. And we're supposed to keep track, and every once in a while, so like in October, we're going to review the results of priorities. And these kinds of things are to keep us on track, to let us know where we are. If we've, you know, gotten behind on something or left something out, we have the opportunity to get back on track. Okay? Any questions?
Oh, that's really nice.
Okay, okay, page 39 is the sign permit. From us to the various locations or owners. Do we want to keep it location or do we want it to be owner?
So this is the sign permit that was issued to the Seward Historic Preservation Society from Community Development, is what this is.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
so it's
For
not
the project.
ours.
Right.
Oh, okay, so this is an example.
No, this is what Community Development issued to you all, saying you have permission to put these signs at these locations.
Okay, but it shouldn't say Seward Historic Preservation Society, it should say commission. That is a big oversight.
It wasn't mine, it's a different department.
So what do I do?
I don't know. I mean, I can email Jackie about it tomorrow. But it's just, it was an informational item that she included to let you know
That
that
the permits had been,
approved.
yeah,
Yes.
just
Okay,
see,
so they haven't gone out.
The signs have not gone out. This
No, no,
permit
no.
was issued to the commission saying that you have permission to put the signs on people's
yeah,
property.
this gives us
Right,
permission
but
to
I'm
put the
asking
sign.
you, have these permits been emailed to the owners?
I
If
do
they
not
have
an answer
not,
to that.
because they're waiting on our approval of this, I'd like that changed to commission.
There is no approval for this. This is a permit that community development issued. I can mention the oversight to them in an email, but there is no approval needed for this. It's just a permit
This
that
gives
they
us
issued.
the ability to put the signs up.
Yes.
I understand that, but I don't like the fact that it says Seward Historic Preservation Society.
She
There
says,
is-
she said that she's going to email Jackie and see what Jackie wants to do about that.
Well, I don't want it to be what Jackie wants to do.
It's her.
It's her
sign
department.
permit.
Okay, I will also email her or call her. Okay, thank you.
But it's a good question to find out.
Does that make this valid? I mean, does that make it null and void? It's been issued to the wrong, it's not been issued to this commission.
Right.
And then also whether we want to do it to the owner or the location.
My understanding from them was that they were going to develop a permit that could be emailed to all the people, and that those people, once they got it in their email, they could sign something through email and send it back. Because I developed this big table of all this information so that they could do that. And besides this, just saying, yeah, this is okay, which they'll fix. This is okay for you guys to do that. I was under the impression that all the property owners needed to sign
Yes.
Individual one.
individually and send it back to them. So I'm not sure where that is at. I
Or
haven't
has that
received-
changed?
Yeah. I sent Jackie a note the other day, like, here's all the signs, you know, letting people know about that, but also, how are we doing, where are we at in this sign permit process, but I just haven't heard back yet.
This was the first.
So I just want, I guess what I'm saying is I want to make sure that all that is still happening, that it didn't change to, here's a blanket, it's okay for these people to do it, we don't have to do that.
No, yeah, no,
So you're
we need
requesting
each,
multiple sign permits.
Well, no, I'm not requesting anything, I just wanna see if that's all still happening, or if there's been a change. This, if that's all we need, that's certainly.
it was our understanding from community development that each property owner had to sign a permit because the
Right.
post was gonna be put in on the property line, not on city property.
But then they came back and said that that wasn't gonna be necessarily the case.
They did?
Yeah, when I talked to Jackie, she was like, that's not, or Andy even said that, that's not gonna be, because in my case, I won't have a sign on my property.
No, but you have it on your house.
No, I'm not having it on my house either.
Really?
Because it will go through the cement board, and then my house is not protected.
Oh,
So, but see, I know, because Eric and I did the renovation, I know where the property line is. And that means people are gonna have to walk up between my cars, past my trailer, up to the sign, which will be just, east of my deck.
Oh, they did say they'd work. with
Right,
us and
that's
have
what
some
they,
flexibility,
so that's
we'd
what
be
I
extra.
understood. That's what I understood, because that negates, at least in my case, the ability to have my property. So when I saw this looks like a blanket permit. I sort of thought this was a follow-up to what you were saying. Now we talk about the specifics, but we have this permit. So I was a little surprised to see this, because I thought it would be a little bit more complex. Each of the signs would be individuals,
yes.
and this doesn't seem to indicate that.
In fact, she is, in
Yeah, it
fact,
doesn't-
look guys, she has done post signs, 235 second, 239 second.
She's
fifth,
listed
blah,
them
blah,
out
blah,
pretty
blah, blah. Yeah,
specifically.
she has.
That's why, so this, to me, looking at this,
One permit.
she's cut to the chase. She's looked over the situation, and she has come up with a solution that works both for the community development people and for the homeowners, in an effort to try and accommodate the group. We just want to make sure that we have this right. So it might be worth checking with Ms. Wild, and, because this looks to me that we have permits to put signs up. Except
the-
for,
the
we're not
permit-
the society, we're a
Yeah,
commission.
the property owner, signs, and when they sign, they agree because their address is on here somewhere.
Right, so where does that leave us? Do we still need to apply for the individual permits?
I'll call her and talk to her, because in addition to just this one change, I see that there's an error too, that she has in the number of wall signs compared to freestanding, so there's just a couple little changes, and I'll find out.
Right,
Okay.
that's the only thing, because, and I think that Ms. Wild is really trying to work with us to make this as simple as possible, but we need to understand, because different
Make
things have
sure
been said.
whatever we have to do, we actually.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
we're not,
Yeah.
you don't misunderstand.
Well, and I apologize for my impatience. After all, Ms. Wild had to run community development alone
Yes.
for quite a time. So, yes, thank you, Ms. Wild, for your work here. Okay,
Well, that was a
Um,
pleasure to see you, one single permit, that was real nice.
okay, so this is done. That's done.
I just want to make sure we're.
Okay, so
we've got it.
on our schedule, we just want to add June 28th as our CLG celebration presentation.
And that's a presentation to City Council.
Yep.
What time would that be?
Well, the meeting starts at 7.
That would probably be down
And-
to them to schedule.
Proclamations and awards, so, okay, that's gonna be, okay, that, yeah, that won't be. So let's see.
Depending on how many proclamations and awards are at the meetings, they usually get to the presentations about 7:30, 7:45-ish.
Okay. Well, that answers that.
Okay.
And you know, we could go right from there to the cemetery and join Lee in his walk,
I'd love to do that. That would be great
because it's
fun.
solstice.
Yeah, that would be
Well,
good.
solstice is the 21st,
Yeah.
and this is the 28th.
Oh, there's a 20.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it is, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
I do want to do that.
I do want to do this, so I'm putting that, I want to do the cemetery walk.
Yes, me too.
Have they installed, I'm curious, have they installed the new Mary Lowell gravestone?
I don't
Because I'd like to
believe
see
so.
that too.
Last I heard, they were waiting for it. But I'm sure it's gonna be installed sometime this summer.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Maybe there should be a big celebration for that with a cake.
Well, and a tour, maybe that could be maybe Liberty would like to do a tour earlier when it is installed in celebration. We could approach her for that, if we chose. Okay, do I have any other comments, questions with regard to what we've gone over tonight?
Nope, not for me.
Okay,
No.
all right. Deputy Clerk Stollard, do we have any citizen comments?
We do not.
Okay. Commissioners, I want to thank you for being here tonight and for all your hard work.
Also, our partners, like Colleen, Resurrection Day Historical Society. Colleen was so amazing, as we've already talked about, which is why she is so deserving of the award. And Mary Tugas from the Seward Community Library Association, and our partners Doug Capra and Lee Pileski. And I appreciate the fact that Rotary made a donation of $1,500 to us and is going to help us site installation. Leslie Wilford's donated $200 and a lot of photos and information for the Resurrect Our Coffee House sign plus the train depot. Iris and Hugh Darling gave money and a lot of information, and just so many people that have
$1,000.
contributed. Besides all these of these property owners that have just spent a lot of time digging through all their stuff and looking for old photos and coming up with history and documents and things to share, and people that are not even getting signs and don't have property but have taken the time to share their knowledge and information about Seward. All these people are doing it because they're excited about it, they love it, and it's been just an amazing collaborative effort to fill that energy of all the people and their love of Seward's story. So I've just been excited to be part of it. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you to Mary Ann, who's really been kind of the lead on these signs. But one of the things that I think has been very fun, and in talking to a couple of my property owners, they suddenly realized we weren't talking so much about the buildings as we were talking about the people and the story of the history of Seward. And I think that's what makes this a little bit different. And people are real excited. And I think in the end, the historic overlay will garner a whole lot more attention because people are now seeing the value of the history of Seward, and we have some pretty impressive history. So, thank you to Mary Ann. I think the other thing I've been real impressed with is the team effort that we have pulled people from all over various and sundry organizations and individuals to work together for for this project. And again, support from Ms. Kingsland. And again, it was a pleasure to work with you, very professional. So, but I just think this project is going to be a real asset to Seward, and I think we're just gonna carry on with the historic overlay. This will help provide support for that, so, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Commissioner Pemberton?
Yeah, I'd just like to add my thanks to everybody that's been involved in this and say that I'm excited to finally get a chance to do my part and contribute something to this project.
Oh, we're counting on it. Thank you, Commissioner Pemberton. On behalf of Commissioner LeBrecq, he wishes us all well, and he will see us on Monday evening. And Commissioner Benoit and Clerk Stollard, we do need to add Wolfgang Kurtz. In doing the first CLG grant, he was part of us in creating the first list of 25 properties that we wanted to have stood out.
Right, I think you're right, you're absolutely right.
So,
That was like one of my first meetings, and he was leading the charge.
Kurtz.
yeah, Kurtz, and his name is Wolfgang, just like Wolfgang Puck.
Gotcha. Okay.
And with that, at 8:17, we're going to adjourn this meeting.
No.